people are Israelites. Alright? Them people are Israelites. Because you got the people of the Ashanti. They know about circumcision. And that's part of scripture. And the people of Igbo, they know they call themselves they know they're Israelites too. And we migrated into the west coast of Africa in 70 AD.
There's a map too. There's like a map where basically you had the 3 tribes that were there. You had Fort Judah, you had Fort Levi, and you had Fort Benjamin in West Africa.
So right there, there's an actual map. I remember seeing that map too. Actually, it says it there. You know? And we migrated there in 70 AD because the Romans were slaughtering us. Because they were oppressing us, innit? In the movies, they always show the Jews are white people and white versus white people. No, it wasn't. White, predominantly white versus black. Alright? And what's it? Now we have to understand when you read like the book of Romans, you think that's talking to white people. No, that's speaking to brothers who were in Rome. Because you had Israelites in Rome who spoke Latin. Right? You had Israelites in Greece who spoke Greek. Alright? So when you read Paul, the apostle to the Gentiles, that doesn't mean he was an apostle to the Hebrew nation. He was an apostle to Israelites. Well, we got proof. Alright. How can I start? James 1.
And I wanted to get into this as well, but I'll get...
no, if you want to get that, read that first.
Okay.
Read that first. Alright. Clarify that one point. We're going to go into the Gentiles.
Yeah, so it says, this is from Babylon to Timbuktu, right? And the guy that wrote the book, his name is Rodolph R. Winter. That's the guy who wrote the book. He's a black man. So it says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman army under General Pompey captured Jerusalem in 70 AD.
So this is the part I'm trying to show you how we fled into West Coast.
General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter during the period of the military governors of Palestine. Many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people.
So there was slaughtering the Romans.
During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery, and the slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Fled into Africa. That's how we got to the West Coast. And then there was the Africans that sold us to the white man. Because we're not Africans, but it's hard to believe at first that Nelson Mandela's people, and I'm blue, they're Somalian, they're Ethiopian, Sudan, you know, who else?
You said Ethiopian.
Descendants are First Corinthians chapter 12 verse 1. Yeah, right here, you can see that. Yeah, that's not us. That's us up here. That was the temple in Israel. That's the Edomites there. These are all the heathen nations. They're coming to the Most High. Less than that. These people, they're reserved for this. This judgment, miracles on destroy people. So get that one scripture, because now we're moving on to another topic.
So it says, this is 1 Corinthians 12 and 1.
Now what? The people of Corinthia. People might say, oh, those are white people. Because it's Corinthia. Corinthia is like in around Greece, them areas there. So you think the Corinthians are heathens, they're not Israelites. Well, this is what a letter that Paul wrote to the Corinthians.
Now this is 1 Corinthians 12 and 1. Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren.
No. I said 1 Corinthians 12. No. 10:01.
Yeah, it says 1 Corinthians 10 and 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea.
Exactly. That goes back to Exodus. How we exited Egypt, we went through the sea, no? So wait a minute, I thought the Corinthians were heathens. So why would Paul write a letter to the heathens saying that, oh, remember how our fathers exited Egypt and went through the sea? So that shows you that the Corinthians must have been Israelites. That's why I said, remember how our fathers, read that again.
It says, moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud.
The cloud is speaking about the so-called UFO chariot. The cloud is speaking about the UFO chariot. They're these. The cloud by day or a pillar of fire by night. It's not a UFO. For the word UFO, this means unidentified flight object. That's called a cloud. Clouds of heaven. The chariots of God. That's his military.
Or angels.
The angels are in those chariots, man. So that's what led us out of Egypt. You know? So read that again.
So it says,
so this is Paul writing to the brothers in Corinthia, to the church in Corinthia. Alright?
So it says, moreover, brethren.
Wait a minute, it said brethren. So let's find out who Paul's brethren are. And this is deep now. Romans chapter 9 verse 1. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ. So Yahweh Shai. Were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites.
That's his brethren.
So that's who his brethren are. So when you see Paul referring to his brethren, he's speaking about them, his kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites. Read it.
Moreover, brethren,
Israelites,
I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea, and did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink. For they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Yahweh Shai. But with many of them, the Most High was not well pleased, for they were overthrown in the wilderness.
Exactly. So that's talking about Exodus. So how can the Corinthians be heathens? That shows they were wicked. They were wicked, they were unbelieving. So the Most High killed that generation and spared their children. And Joshua led them happened to Israel. See, even Moses didn't make it. Moses was righteous, but even the Most High didn't spare Moses. Had Moses killed before he even saw it. He said, "See that land? Yeah, you ain't gonna make it. The children are gonna make it, but not you. You're not gonna see that land." But now we have to understand now. What's it? Give me James 1:1. This further proves, isn't it? This further proves.
Yeah, this is James 1:1. A servant of the Most High and of the...
Read that again.
James 1:1. A servant of the...
James.
Right. Alright, this is James
1 verse 1.
right? Yeah, James 1 verse 1. James, a servant of the Most High and of the Lord, Yahweh Shai, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greeting.
Right, so this letter was written to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. It wasn't written to heathens. You know? Because you had heathens in the different lands, like Greece and Rome, Ephesus, Thessalonica, and Paul went to teach them and say that you can be grafted into, that the Lord also died for you as well. This is 1 Peter chapter 1 verse 1. Peter, an apostle of Yahweh Shai, to the strangers scattered throughout Pontus, Galatia, Cappadocia, Asia, and Bithynia. Right, strangers that were scattered, because wasn't Israel scattered? Exactly. So it shows you who Paul was speaking to, who was talking to, and all the apostles that were sent to the brothers that were scattered abroad were Israelites. They weren't heathens. Oh, yeah. Acts chapter 10 verse 1.
Acts 10 verse 1. And there was a certain man in Caesarea.
Have you got a man by the way? A man. Okay, it's a thing like when women come up and they got man. You know what I'm saying? That I don't know. The thing scripture says sitting all with another man's wife. You know, we don't go with it. No, we don't. We're not meant to be teaching another man's wife, so to speak. Like if you came out, you had a man, we would say, bring your man, and we would tell him, and your man teach you. It's one of them things. That's what the scriptures say. That's what the scriptures. No. Acts chapter 10 verse 1.
So it says, this is Acts chapter 10 verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band, a devout man, and one that feared the Most High with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to the Most High always.
Right, so we know that he was a godly man.
So Cornelius wasn't Israelite or anything like that.
He was an Israelite, but it doesn't say that. He doesn't. You tell you he's a Roman. We have to understand is that you had blacks in the Roman army.
Yeah.
You had blacks in the Senate. Even blacks took over the Roman Empire. That's why they call it the Holy Roman Empire afterwards. Because we had white people in slavery during the time of Septimius Severus. That's how they call it the Dark Ages. Because we took over Europe. We ruled England. Why? Because we took over the Roman Empire. We had blacks in the army like Septimius Severus. The reason why he got up there in the Senate is because of his grandfather. His grandfather was a part of the Senate. And Septimius Severus, his grandson, was able to become a lawyer. He was schooled in Rome. Then he became a commander. He became part of the Praetorian Guard. The Praetorian Guard is like the highest rank of soldier you could be in the Roman army.